Atomic Blonde is an action spy thriller based on the graphic novel The Coldest City by Anton Johnson and Sam Hart. Atomic Blonde takes place on November 1989 on the eve of the Berlin Wall collapse and features Charlize Theron as top-level MI6 spy Lorraine Broughton, who is dispatched in Berlin to find a list of spies who are double agents, and her job is to make sure that list doesn't fall into the wrong hands. The one thing Atomic Blonde doesn't lack is plenty of kick-ass fight scenes by Charlize, but the one major fault with a film about a secret double agent underworld is that you can find yourself easily lost as the film tries to intertwine awesome action with a semi-complicated story. So before going to the ending explain and breakdown of Atomic Blonde, keep in mind, everything from here on out does contain major movie ruining spoilers to Atomic Blonde, so you've been warned. The questions we're left with after the film's twist conclusion are, what was the deal with John Goodman being on that private jet with Lorraine? Does this mean Lorraine is actually an American double agent who's been working for the CIA the whole time? Who was actually the double agent known as Satchel? Who were all the characters that actually ended up working for John Goodman in the CIA? And will Atomic Blonde undoubtedly spark the need in the film industry for an Atomic Blonde sequel, and more films with female leads who kick ass? So first, a quick breakdown leading to the film's conclusion. The spoilery synopsis of Atomic Blonde is Lorraine is trying to find a list contained within a watch with all the names of Her Majesty's secret agents. However, a double agent has their hands on said list, compromising the lives of everybody Lorraine gets close to. The story of Atomic Blonde is a debriefing with Lorraine, where she explains the details of her mission to an American CIA agent played by John Goodman, aka Cocksucker.
What did you say?
What? Nothing.
I thought you said something.
No, anyway. Also in this debriefing is Lorraine's MI6 superior, played by Toby Jones. Lorraine tells these agents the events of her failed mission and everything that led up to this debriefing, including being compromised by her own contact, James McAvoy, playing David Percival. Early on in this film, Lorraine quickly sees through Percival's cloak, where he pretends to be constantly hungover and acts like just an overall completely inept agent, when in fact he's actually a very competent spy. Throughout the film, Lorraine is seeking clues as to who killed MI6 agent James Gascon, who we assume she had some prior relationship with, yet everywhere Lorraine goes, trouble is not far behind, causing her to realize she's been set up. Lorraine's main objective also changes many times throughout the film. At first it was to connect with Percival and retrieve the list. As she searches for clues about the list and Gascon's killer, this leads to a search of James's old apartment where it turns out Percival has been lying to her and spying on her the entire time. When a man named Spyglass is introduced as the man who made the list, with the physical list location unknown, a different plan is made to help escort Spyglass out of the communist east side of Berlin so he doesn't fall into the hands of any of the bad guys who will beat the list out of him because he has memorized all the names on said list. And another name that just keeps being popped up everywhere is a double agent named Satchel. The first we hear of Satchel, Spyglass is mentioning to Lorraine that he's worried the list would expose this double agent's name. But why worry? Wouldn't this be a good thing? Anyway, in a city full of spies, all trying to get their hands on this list, Lorraine can't trust anyone but has no problem fucking them. With Sophia Boutel as French agent Delphine, for example. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I got lost. Where was I? Okay, so after this scene, we learn that Delphine knows something about Lorraine's contact, Percival, but we don't hear what she tells Lorraine because of the interference with the radio. After this, we see that Percival has killed the man that has killed James Gascon, and now Percival has the list. At this point probably comes the most important scene to the film's plot, and it comes out of nowhere, meaning it's never mentioned as part of Lorraine's interrogation. The scene happens on the Berlin Wall in what is a secret meeting between Lorraine and the CIA agent played by John Goodman. The agent just mentioned that the clock is ticking on this investigation, and he then hands her a newspaper, because being a good agent, he knows that eyes and ears are everywhere. As she reads the paper, it contains a secret phone number in it that when she calls, we hear a voice say, "Satchel has been compromised." Why does this matter? Isn't Satchel a bad guy? Is Lorraine part of the CIA? Who else is working for them? Why is this film so damn complicated? Well, anyway, after this we see Percival examining the list and he has quite a smirk on his face. The film then cuts to a scene where the new plan is for Lorraine and Percival to escort Spyglass safely across the border with his family. The film cuts back to the present-day investigation where Lorraine's superior says that at this point in her story, Percival had already called him and had Satchel's identity. But Lorraine responds that nobody told her, so Percival kept that information secret from her. The film cuts again to a scene with Percival selling names off the list to bad guy Beckmantov, And this we learned from Delphine as she was doing spy work on Percival. So it's Percival that set up Lorraine. But why? While Percival has no problem killing people, he never wanted to kill Lorraine. Instead, he tried to get other people to do his dirty work for him. That's why he called the police on her when she was in James's apartment. That's why he sold out Lorraine to the KGB, knowing that in fact she was Satchel, and why Spyglass is worried about the list exposing the real name of the double agent Satchel, because he also knew who Lorraine was. And Percival did it all because he loves the Berlin chaos so much that he doesn't ever want to leave. That's also why when moving along with the protesters so they could safely get Spyglass across the border, Percival has to improvise and shoot Spyglass. But just before this, with Lorraine already suspecting something with Percival, she has a backup plan in place. You'll recall her saying to Bill Skarsgård's character Merkel, who keeps making random appearances, "Is everything else ready?" Confirming he also works with Lorraine and the CIA, as well as the whole umbrella thing so Percival's sniper couldn't kill Spyglass, meaning Percival would be the only person with the power of knowing all the names on that list. And because of Percival selling out Lorraine earlier, that's what leads to the awesome long fight scene between Lorraine and Spyglass versus the KGB. And at this point, Lorraine realizes that Percival has set her up from the beginning by bugging her coat, as well as compromising Delphine, who calls Percival saying, "I can play this game better than you think," meaning she has also been working for Percival against Lorraine. But this being her first assignment, she has clearly caught feelings for Lorraine, which, can you blame her? And with Percival now trying to cover all his tracks and eliminate anybody associated with him, he has to kill Delphine as the Berlin Wall falls in the background at the same time. At this point we hear Percival's monologue about how the whole world is run on secrets, and even though you fight the good fight, at the end of the day, spies are just Santa's little helper. But Percival was not fast enough getting away as Lorraine confronts him on everything, and before killing him she asks where the list is going, and Percival responds to MI6 where it belongs, which would have been okay with Lorraine had she not been the double agent known as Satchel working for the CIA. As she kills Percival and calls him Satchel to throw the audience off, as well as her superior in the interrogation, telling Percival don't try to deceive the deceiver. Flashing back to present day, Lorraine's superior asks how could you kill him, with Lorraine stating I uncovered our traitor. Lorraine also throws off her superior by saying she has no idea where the list is, and whoever this guy is, who apparently is the head of the MI6, says this whole mission gets buried as if nothing happened, allowing Lorraine to get off scot-free. So if anybody hasn't realized the twist by now, that's what leads to the events after the interrogation, where Lorraine meets with Beckmantoff at the hotel to supposedly sell the full list. Here we get the reveal that Lorraine is in fact the double agent known as Satchel, because that's the information that Percival sold to Beckmantoff during their meeting. As she wipes out the entire room, tying up all her loose ends, also revealing that she led Beckmantoff to believe that she had been working for him when in fact he was working for her, and with every bit of misinformation she gave him allowed the Iron Curtain to unravel one piece at a time. You'll recall in the movie theater fight scene when one of the goons tells Lorraine that Beckmantoff just wants to talk, that does confirm that they had some sort of prior connection. But after Lorraine goes John Wick on everybody in this hotel room, this leaves Merkel to clean up the mess, then the watchmaker played by German actor Till Schweiger to drop her off at the airport, and CIA agent John Goodman waiting for her in a private jet with the list. Because all these cocksuckers, including Spyglass, work for the CIA, and all helped in the extremely complicated process of bringing down the Berlin Wall in this film. America. So that's the ending explained and breakdown of Atomic Blonde. Now do we have a sequel confirmed, and can we expect more female-led action films? Atomic Blonde in 2017 already marks a second great female-led film just behind Wonder Woman. And women in general are really bursting through the glass ceiling of the film industry, with many new writers and directors being given a chance to compete with the men. And the next few years look very promising for women to kick ass. With a new Tomb Raider and DC Warner Bros. Gotham City Sirens releasing in 2018, and a Wonder Woman sequel and solo Batgirl film already planned for the future. But as far as an Atomic Blonde sequel, while this film is based on the graphic novel The Coldest City, it's hard to imagine there being a movie-based sequel based on the graphic novel sequel The Coldest Winter, only because without spoiling who, one of the main characters in this novel won't be around. That doesn't mean there couldn't be something unique done, but it does mean it won't be based off any original work, which is always a risk going off script for a sequel. As long as they clean up some of the story details but keep the same awesome action and other scenes, Atomic Blonde will no doubt be greenlit for a sequel. And that's everything I have for the ending explained and breakdown of Atomic Blonde. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below, and tell me your thoughts on the film. Also be sure to comment, did you feel lost in the film, or did my breakdown cause you to become even more lost? What's your favorite spy film, and if you would like to see an Atomic Blonde sequel, and which female-led action films are you looking forward to the most in the next coming years? And don't forget, as always, this is 5 Thingers Explains Everything with the Thingabang Show. Somebody get me a vodka on the rocks.